Hi there, I am Becky Amble. You probably know me, and I wanted to just share what I'm calling a little tidbit with you about our upcoming program. So let's get into that. And here we are. Once again, we want to welcome all of you to our upcoming program. We're excited to have you with us and excited to get sharing ideas on artificial intelligence, which, of course, Vidya and I both find quite fascinating. And that's what we're going to be doing is talking about how business leaders over 50 can use artificial intelligence. So here's some tidbits for you today. First and most important is since I'm doing this and Vidya's busy working on other things, I want to make sure that you get to meet Vidya, who is awesome. She is brilliant and one of the nicest people ever that you will want to meet. And most of you want to know how to say her name. So there you go. It's Vidya or Vidya. And I bring this up because her name is a little bit unusual, having come from India. And we want to make sure that we get your names correct. If your name might be a little bit different, please make sure that we pronounce it correctly. Well, some of us are going, well, what's the whole thing with AI? Everybody's talking about it. It was the hot, well, probably the hottest topic in Davos last week when all the big executives and economic world leaders were there. And I think also a big topic at the World Economic, well, it is the World Economic Forum. Anyway, here's where it started. And some of us might have been around or might remember these days. It goes back to 1956 when there were a group of people at a summit, a conference kind of thing in the summer at Dartmouth College, 1956. That's when the discussion of AI started. It's been around for a while. And of course, we might just say, well, it all took off when OpenAI launched more on a public basis in November of 2022. Well, for most of us, that's when we really became aware of it. Now, I'm going to share just a couple things that we're going to be talking about in workshops in case you want to have a little preview. So, OpenAI is what first hit the streets. That's usually what their logo looks like, something like that. And then if you get your account set up, and if you want my uh, YouTube video that I made to show how to do that, let me know. I can send that to you. And here you go. When you get there and you're all signed up, this is what your page looks like. And we're going to be talking about what you can see in the middle here, the prompt box. That's where you put your directions or order or request, whatever you want to call it. That's what you put in that when you're working with ChatGPT. And over here on the left side, you'll see a whole lot of things. We'll talk about that. There's some other options of things you can go to, Sora, Dolly, which is an image. And here is a whole list of different things that I've done recently. Up in the upper right corner, you can see BE, that stands for me, and you will have a little circle with an icon to indicate it's your account when you get set up. And typically, I'm in the paid version of ChatGPT 4. There's free versions that really are a great way to start, and then you can check everything out and see what you like. Next is another one of our favorites. This is called Claude, and just a little weird thing. I kind of like it because the co-founders, brothers and a brother and sister, came from AI, and I kind of like the fact that we got a brother and sister team that have teamed up. Now, when you get your account set up, it's going to look like this. I like the fact that it calls me by name. It's going to have your name in there when you get that set up. Again, I have a professional plan, so I pay for this. Again, the prompt box is going to be right here where you put in your request. They have a free version. It's called Haiku. Doesn't really matter, I guess, if you know the name of it, because if you go to Claude and set up your account, you'll get the free version, unless, of course, you're going to pay for it, which probably you're not going to do until you check it out. That's Claude. Another one that's frequently talked about is CoPilot. That's part of the Microsoft world, and I don't really do much with it because I've already spent a lot of time with ChatGPT and Claude. However, CoPilot does have its pluses. In particular, it's integrated with all Microsoft capabilities and is a really great tool from that standpoint. They also have an image generator. And when you get to your page for this particular LLM, as they're referred to. We'll talk about all that too. It's going to say, how can I help you? Down here on the bottom is where you put in your request. You can see they all are formatted quite similarly, and I think they are pretty much all trying to copy ChatGPT. And then we have Gemini, which is from Google. And I don't know, they seem to keep changing their logo. So you're going to find it looking like one of these two logos, I believe, unless something changes again. And again, when you get to your page for Gemini, it's going to look almost like ChatGPT. And in fact, I didn't mention Microsoft has invested in ChatGPT, our previous slide. So that runs, a lot of the CoPilot is run with ChatGPT as its technology that it's running. Anyway, here you go for Gemini. And hey, Gemini has been coming up with some really good scores on accuracy, sometimes as good as ChatGPT, the kind of, I guess you would call it master of the universe when it comes to AI. It has even scored better than ChatGPT. So you might want to play around, check this out as well. And the last one I want to mention to you is Grok. And of course, this comes from X, or as we used to call it, Twitter. And this is the brainchild, or at least from the company, of Elon Musk. And he was one of the original founders in OpenAI, which is the parent company of ChatGPT. Then they had a little difference of opinion because Elon Musk wanted to keep it more in that nonprofit free world, and Sam Altman didn't, so they kind of split ways. And if you get to Grok, he likes the whole black genre. You will find first, you'll come up with a page like this. Then you can see in the very middle, it says try now on X. I think that's the only way to use it. I've just tried it out a couple times. And then what do? You get there, it's going to look pretty much just like what we had on ChatGPT and all the others. In the middle is where you have the text box. And that's pretty much all I had for you. Just some ideas if you want to start looking at things. We're going to talk about these. I think we'll talk about Grok. We'll see, because you never know. Things change out there in AI space pretty quickly, and there might be something else more exciting going on. If you haven't kept up, you probably know that DeepSeek coming out of China is a very hot topic these days, and there's definite pros and cons for that. And we might touch on that. We'll see. We'll see what you want to know too. And we will do our best to answer your questions and work with whatever you are hoping to learn. We do have plenty of things to share with you. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Thanks again for tuning in.